Good evening, everybody. I think it's a bright evening as we see a lot of our friends from the similar industry in one room and getting all this together. Nothing better than RAI could do this. We've not been able to do this in over years, and now I think doing this, Kumar and Mr. Viju, thank you for getting all of us together. As we say, der aaye, durust aaye, but aaye to sahi. So, so I think getting all of us together is a big initiative, and we have broken the ice by coming and sharing our thoughts. I think we all come from similar industries, similar problems, similar opportunities, but at times we always want to tally data. So it's always a good platform to come speak, share your information. And today we hear so much about data centers. Forget about your customers, but first with your allies, what is the data that you can share that every business in your community can grow. So that is the first thing. Forget about growing your own business. If the industry grows, it's definite that you will also grow. So I think Neeru's has always been vouching for something like this. And whenever I go to a lot of platforms and nationwide, so I was just telling somebody here that pehli baar I didn't have to take a flight to come to a forum. So I drove down, and being in Hyderabad, happening here is a much more brighter scenario, and I hope this continues. And RAI has been, I think, over a period of time, in our toughest times in Hyderabad, when we saw pandemic and a lot of things were not working out for us in terms of logistics, supply chains, and opening and shutting of stores, irritants with the footfalls and malls and so many things. I think even we had our chief guest, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, who I think we should actually thank ourselves that he is so informative about the problems, because at times someone who knows the problems, then only he can give you a solution. So I think he was much more informative, and if we have a board like that, and we will keep interacting with him more so that these problems don't occur in any due course of retail business that we do in thing like this. And whenever I go to a lot of platforms and nationwide, so I was just telling somebody here that pehli baar I didn't have to take a flight to come to a forum. So I drove down, and being in Hyderabad, happening here is a much more brighter scenario, and I hope this continues. And RAI has been, I think, over a period of time, in our toughest times in Hyderabad, when we saw pandemic and a lot of things were not working out for us in terms of logistics, supply chains, and opening and shutting of stores, irritants with the footfalls and malls and so many things. I think even we had our chief guest, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, who I think we should actually thank ourselves that he is so informative about the problems, because at times someone who knows the problems, then only he can give you a solution. So I think he was much more informative, and if we have a board like that, and we will keep interacting with him more so that these problems don't occur in any due course of retail business that we do in this state or city. And as we talk about Hyderabad, I think Hyderabad has been evolving a lot, from a small mom and pop store to a budgeted brand, to also luxury brands that have always traveled. And I think Hyderabad has become the third. After Bombay and Delhi, Hyderabad has become the third to a lot of such initiatives that are happening. You also see, because I belong to fashion and apparels, so I know all the designer friends who have opened up their own stores in Hyderabad, and at times I also ask myself, why Hyderabad? Why not more in Chennai? Why not more in Bangalore? And a lot of our CEOs, honchos, IT, everybody is either residing in Jayanagar, Whitefield, or in Bandra, or maybe somewhere in Malad, or Andheri. So why not Jubilee Hills or Banjara Hills? So I think that was a good answer that I got from them. They always said that Hyderabad is a market which has rich understanding of every kind of retail that is available to them. Let it be from a small hotel exhibition to a big retail store, to a small designer store, or a boutique, to a FMCG, to a F&B. Today you see world-class facilities and streets that are available in Hyderabad. Because we are all Hyderabadis, you'll relate more. We've seen older times with Abbots, Begum Bazaars, and Kotis. Then you had seen a change to maybe something like Jubilee Hills or Banjara Hills for a more upmarket kind of a presence. And then you've also seen densely populated areas like maybe Kotapet or Amirpet or Kompally, and now you also see a new aspect which is available from your Gachibolis to the financial districts to your Kokapet. So I think so many things are happening in Hyderabad. Hyderabad will never stop. But are we stopping each other? That has to be a thing, because as retail, as a community, we all know that there are a lot of opportunities to explore this city and this state, and also the state of Telangana and Andhra collectively, because majority of us are available in both of these states, and there's so much to explore. So I think there shouldn't be anything that should stop us from our footholds and expansions in these areas. And also we see a lot of setting up of these huge malls that are coming up in Hyderabad. There's so much capacity in this city, where every decade we see multiple malls opening, and there's lot of avenues which are available for a brand to expand. So I don't think there is a reason why something like this should not happen in the city of Hyderabad, because as Neeru's, we are born and brought up in Hyderabad, starting from 1971, from a woman entrepreneur that happens to be my grandmother, from a small two-machine tailoring unit. Every decade has been challenging, every decade has been very opportunist for us, and we've been tapping that for a long time. And in early 2000s, I remember when I'm mentioning streets like maybe Jubilee Hills or Banjara Hills, which I think at times they were streets with no lights, but with Neeru's, I think we've given a lot of light throwing to that street, because we ended up hearing from people, "Arey, road number 1 Banjara Hills mein itna roshni aata hai kyunki Neeru's ka dukaan hai." So that was a street which was virgin. Nobody had actually thought of Banjara Hills to be one of the markets there. And when we opened up a store there, maybe in early 2000s, that's what the response we used to get. And similarly on road number 36 in Jubilee Hills, which I think every brand is desperate to enter, I think we were the first store on road number 36, which was an organized retailer. We were there. And when we were planning a store there, so it was close to about 30,000 square feet in size. And you imagine, it's not too old. We opened that store on 12 December 2012, and today we are in 22. Just 10 years back, somebody saying, how will people come to road number 36 and shop? Itna dur kaun aayega? Wahan pe to bus or auto bhi nahi jata hai. So, days like that, which you've heard, and today, road number 36, you and I are witness to it. There is, I think, every brand possible in this room or nationally present, whoever comes with their BD team or a project team and everything, they first want to see, pehle road number 1 jao, road number 36 jao, phir aap Himayat Nagar jao, phir aap, go to dense areas like Kukatpalli, Kompalli, whatever is available. So I think these have been some stepping stones in the journey of Neeru's that we have seen. And not just being here, I mean, it's not just about the city. It's also about how you take your brand and how you take your presence. Because in early stage, we realize creating a brand is not as easy, because, when you say I'm a brand, you should not need an introduction. If you need an introduction, then you're still on the steps of becoming a brand. Because we see, as millennials, we see a lot of people coming up, and we say that they are still, like they mentioned about startups, they end up saying that we are a brand, and we started this thing, and when we ask how old are you, they say we are just 1 year old. And then I sit there and realize it took us decades to become what we are today, and someone claims to be a brand in a year's time. So I think that this talks about the pace that's available in India, that with which we can expand and actually take our companies, to greater heights. I think these are opportunities which are available, but somehow we are very constrained to our comfort zones, because we like comfort. We like to be in a certain. If I like this room, I'm comforted here. I spend 10 days, I'll start loving it, but I never know what's there outside, And a lot of our friends here who've always, when I go to a lot of such common platforms, forums, or end up meeting them informally, they always say there's so much opportunity outside of your city. Why don't you expand? So that's how we took the journey of Neeru's from a Hyderabad brand to a Telangana Andhra brand, and then to maybe capturing more of South India by entering into markets like Bangalore, Chennai, Coimbatore, and all of that. And then slowly, when we thought that, again, that thing keeps hitting you. If you're a brand, you don't need introduction. So, you need that some kind of adrenaline rush to, push you forward to expand more. Again, keeping what Mr. Sandeep has also said, top line and bottom line both hand in hand, but kabhi expansion mein dono bhi ud jate hain. And that is when you realize ki, where have we come and are we going the right way? Because I keep meeting so many of our older generation, professionals and pioneers who are there. They always keep saying, jitna संभाल सकते हो उतना खोलो. हद से ज़्यादा खोलने की क्या ज़रूरत है जब 40 का तुम्हारे को सेल 4 में मिलेगा. You know, he's satisfied there. He's not wrong. He's satisfied there. But what is your want? Do you really want to expand? You want to take it to another level, or you're okay with operating in your comfort zones? On a parallel, I also met a youngster. I think I wouldn't name, but belonging to Hyderabad. When I asked him, you know, you're running a store here, and I heard you joined your father's business. It's very nice. And what are your plans and everything? And I heard, because I know that your father is the owner of that particular store, he ended up telling me, ओनर नहीं है वो, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड है. मतलब व्हाई यू सेइंग सिक्योरिटी गार्ड? ही सेड वो उनको लगता है कि वो खड़े रहेंगे तो ही बिजनेस होगा, वरना नहीं होगा. कैश काउंटर को देखना है, एंट्री एग्जिट को देखना है, तो ही धंधा होगा. So he said, then what is your thought on it? You're calling your own father a security guard. So what is your vision? मतलब उसके mind में कुछ तो होगा जो उसने ये बोला. So he ended up saying, see, I want to grow my business. I cannot be stuck to one store, but I have to make this gentleman understand that I don't have to be everywhere to have a store of mine. So, you know, these are some hiccups, because I see a lot of brand owners sitting here, a lot of retail owners, a lot of store owners, you know, who are young and, you know, who want to take their names forward, who are more second generation, third generation. So all these things keep coming your way, but what is your vision? I think pandemic has taught us, sit back, relax, pause your minds, think about what you want to do with your brands and your stores and what you want to achieve in your retail career, and then, you know, rectify your whatever irritants that you believe you have surpassed in this time, and then come over it. Because if I have a fear of heights, if I don't do a bungee jump in my life, I will never lose that fear. So sometimes you have to come out of your comfort zone, jump into it, and, you know, you're going to learn it. So my late father taught me swimming that way. You know, he was like, तेरे को फेंक दूंगा. I kept promising, मम्मी की कसम, डैडी की कसम, मुझे मत फेंको. But you know, he knew that somehow he'll reach there, but he also knew he was there to save me. So, you know, one has to do that little baby step to actually come out of the comfort zones and expand. Hyderabad has so many, I think we are a pool of brands that is available. I know so many brands which are available here who have gone nationally and made a great name. One gentleman standing behind who serves amazing ice creams with the name of Creamstone. One gentleman, if we have a bad stomach, Apollo gives us good medicines to stay more hygienic. I think so. All these brands have taken the name of Hyderabad into the retail map of the country, and you know, it's enough. I think we need to call them more often. We need to call all the people here and to make them understand what this city and the brands are all about in Hyderabad. We've spent so many decades as if we have a bad stomach, Apollo gives us good medicines to stay more hygienic. I think so. All these brands have taken the name of Hyderabad into the retail map of the country, and you know, it's enough. I think we need to call them more often. We need to call all the people here and to make them understand what this city and the brands are all about in Hyderabad. We've spent so many decades as so many families. I recognize even the second, third generation. I can see somebody from Dadu's also sitting. We know these names so commonly, but how everybody wants to do something. So how can we do it? It's only through these kind of forums that probably RII has given us this platform to come, sit, share data, and, you know, come out of our comfort zones and take something back home. And, you know, when you probably a day like this, whenever I used to in my younger times, and, you know, when I used to first, second, third or fourth meetings, when I used to attend like this, I never used to sleep. उस रात नींद ही नहीं आती थी. अरे इसने ये किया, उसने वो किया, सोना कैसे? So that was, you know, the kind of zeal that we used to go back with. So I think with this platform, I hope nobody sleeps tonight and tries to think how we can better our retail journey and do something about our own brands and get Hyderabad not only onto the India map, but onto the global map, and let everybody know that we've spent decades in making names in this city, and we can actually go not only Hyderabad, Telangana, Andhra, India, but even global. And I once again thanks Kumar and the entire team. I know Hitesh has also spent a lot of time in coming and telling us that, you know, how we can invite people and how we can get everyone on board. I think if it's a good thing like this, everybody will just enter. You don't have to really put your minds too much on it, because if anyone who really understands the importance of this will definitely come to an event like this and take back something very serious home, and, you know, give you the next would be a bigger banquet hall with much more people and much more positivity and much more energy, for sure. And thank you for having you know, all of us together, RAI again, and we look forward to seeing you sooner and soonest. I hope the pandemic doesn't stop the virtualness in us, and we will do this more physically. Thank you.